The Sega Dreamcast released November 27th, 1998 in Japan, released September 9th, 1999 in America, and had a lifespan of about 3 years. The cost was $199 at launch, which due to inflation as of writing this is around $361.58. While the Dreamcast was seen as a success at first, the threat of Sony loomed just over the horizon, as on March 4th, 2000 in Japan and October 26th, 2000 in North America, Sony launched the PlayStation 2, which essentially sealed the Dreamcast's fate as this weird, obscure, niche console. The PlayStation 2 was the sequel, obviously, to the last generation's best-selling console, plus it could play DVDs, a new and growing way to watch media from home for the consumer, which previously was crowned to VHS. Unfortunately for the Dreamcast, DVDs meant more storage space on the disc and the ability to play DVD movies and shows right from the console, making it the cheapest DVD player on a consumer level at the time. The Dreamcast struggled for a couple more months before ceasing production on March 31st, 2001. The Dreamcast is a cute little anomaly in the gaming world. It was the first console to have the ability to go online, and its memory card was called a VMU, and it plugged into the controller itself. The VMU had a little LCD screen on it that you could use to play mini-games on it from whatever game you're playing at the time that would support it. So for Sonic Adventure, you could train and raise your CHAOs away from home. The Dreamcast has its fans and still has a strong, if not niche, community of people still making games for the console. The legacy of the console has never really died and introduced us to some great franchises that Sega just forgot about, apparently, like Jet Set Radio. I know about Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox, but other than that, that's it. Power Stone and Blue Stinger, to name a few. Sonic Adventure 2 was the last big title for the Dreamcast, and was released after the console ceased production. A good many months after production ceased, in fact, on June 23rd, 2001. The release of Sonic Adventure 2 was so underwhelming, in fact, that Sega soon realized that they needed to do something, so this game wouldn't be forgotten. So soon after the Dreamcast stopped production, Sega announced that they would become a third-party developer and that Sonic Adventure 2 would be coming to the Nintendo GameCube on December 20th, 2001, and would be getting some new improvements, and it would be renamed to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And this is the version on PC and every console except PS4, Xbox One, and everything beyond that, because I guess Sega hates you. The reason I went into the Dreamcast a little bit there is because I lacked doing that for the first adventure game, because that was like a launch title for the Dreamcast. So this is when the Dreamcast came out and was a success. It was booming. I wanted to show you how very quickly and through a 3-year time span that just goes away. In regards to the last Sonic video, this one's going to be a little different. It's a lot less scripted, and I'm going to more or less streamline it. Instead of going through every story beat and every level, I'm just going to kind of give a broad overview of how everything works. While this game's story is much more simplified and easier to follow and isn't split up between 6 different characters, I also don't feel the need to have to go in depth with the story, as much so as I did with Adventure 1, because Adventure 1's is kind of a confusing mess. This one is less so. It just has kind of a lot of fluff that's easy to make fun of, but it isn't really necessarily important to the whole plot overall. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. And finally, my food from Subway's been picked up. Sonic Adventure 2 is an interesting game to me because I, for a while, hated this game, and I never really knew why people liked it so much. It only took, after playing it recently, and now having the hindsight of what future Sonic games have become, for me to realize that Adventure 2 was something special, and really I was just too harsh on it. Whereas in Adventure 1 you played as 6 different characters with all varying different gameplay styles, Sonic Adventure 2 you play as 6 characters again, but this time it's doubled. So you play as Sonic and Shadow, who are your speed characters, you play as Knuckles and Rouge, who are your emerald hunting scavenger hunt levels, and you play as Tails and Eggman, who are your gamma levels. Adventure 2 basically took the 3 best gameplay styles from Adventure 1 and improved them, and downgraded them in some weird ways, and we'll get into that. No worries. So the way we're going to talk about this game is in order from Hero Story, Dark Story, and then the last story. So without further ado, let's jump right into the Hero Story. The Hero Story of Sonic Adventure 2 consists of playing as Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. What makes this game the most different from Adventure 1 is the fact that you don't choose which character to play as and play through their campaign. Their campaign the campaign plays out, and you flip-flop between each character. So for one level you'll be playing as Sonic, the next one you'll be Knuckles, the next one you'll be Tails, then you'll be back to Sonic, then you'll be Tails, then you'll be Knuckles. Like, it just flip-flops like that. Each level also introduces a new type of gimmick. So, for example, City Escape has you snowboarding down the streets of San Francisco, because of course you are. Pyramid Cave has you interacting with switches that are timed and can open doors on a timed interval level, so you have to hit the switch and then run through the door in the right period of time. Alright. Green Forest has a time limit that is so forgiving you could actually stand there at the beginning of the level for 5 minutes and still have plenty of time to beat the level. Final Rush focuses on doing nothing but rail grinding, and it's one of my favorite levels in the entire game. And Crazy Gadget introduces zero gravity, which confuses the fuck out of me, and I'm not a big fan of Crazy Gadget's level. Each and every single character in this game has been improved from Sonic Adventure. Sonic is much, much faster. His levels are more linear, which is a bit of a loss, but the focus is on the speed and the spectacle of these levels and having complete and total control over the momentum-based platforming of these levels. And I think it does a great job of balancing the less exploratory nature of these levels, but also keeping that high-octane energy that Sonic Adventure 1 was able to give you in bursts. Knuckles is much faster, his boy can run, and his levels are much more wide open, which comes to the detriment of the new Emerald system. The way the Emerald system worked in Sonic Adventure 1 is you didn't have to pick them up in sequential order. If you were near the third one would just blink. If you were near the second one and you still needed the first one, it would just blink. This one, you need to pick them up in sequential order from left to right, 1, 2 to 3. So, what that means is you could be standing right next to Emerald Shard number 3, but because you didn't get number 2 yet, it won't tell you that you're right next to it. That kind of sucks, but most of Knuckles' levels accommodate for this, so it's like, okay, I don't mind it. The only one that's rough, his space level, that one's a little too open-ended, but it's not nearly as bad as Rouge's, and we'll get to that one then. No worries. Unfortunately for Tails' levels, though, they're more or less Gamma levels, where Tails is an airplane, transforms into an AT-AT walker, an AT-ST from Star Wars, and is a bipedal robot that shoots things, and it controls exactly the same as Gamma, except the movement is not nearly as satisfying as Gamma's was. It's a tough thing to try to describe, but it's like walking straight is a struggle sometimes, it feels. And any minute deviation from holding straight, like straight on, any minute deviation from doing this causes the character to full stop, and it takes a lot of the flow out of playing what was Gamma levels. Also, the lock-on sound is just a static beep, like a flatline beep. Oh boy. It's fucking loud. It's the only thing you will hear. I'm going to comment on the music in a second, but it is so loud you can't hear the music. And that kind of goes for this whole game. Picking up rings causes the audio to peak. Tails' lock-on so loud, depending on how many people you lock onto, it peaks the audio as well. This game's very loud. And I'm not sure if that's just a problem with the PC version or if that's a problem with all of the versions. I have it on PlayStation 3 and I didn't notice any issues, but then again, I played it at a very low volume to begin with because I didn't want to annoy my wife with Sonic noises. So I don't know if that's just a PC version problem or what it is. I'm sure there's a mod to fix it, but as of vanilla, unpatched, unmodded Sonic Adventure 2, it is loud as fuck. Here's unedited audio of a Tails level. This is your one warning to turn the video down. Turn the video down. I'm not lowering it. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Well, on the topic of audio, let's talk about the voice acting. It's the exact same cast from Sonic Adventure 1, except they got a little bit better voice direction this time. The voice acting is a little bit better. It's marginally better. This is probably once they started hitting their stride. Ryan Drummond does a great job as Sonic in this game. This game is what makes Ryan Drummond my second favorite Sonic. He's just got this great snarky attitude to him. Dean Bristow as Eggman, fucking beautiful. It's great that he plays Eggman as this actually intimidating monster, unlike how Mike Pollock plays him now. Now that's not to say though, real quick, to jump ahead a couple games later on, eventually the cast is recast because of Sonic X coming over here and getting dubbed with a brand new voice cast. They just took that voice cast and put them in the games. That happens from Shadow the Hedgehog onward, and we'll get into when that stops. Mike Pollock has played Eggman from Shadow to now. I love his Eggman from Shadow to the end of Black Knight. After that, he becomes this cartoonish villain who just doesn't pack the same punch as the adventure era or the dark era of Sonic, as people call it. I think he's being very underutilized nowadays. I think Mike Pollock is very, very, very good as Eggman when given a good script to be Eggman. But back to Sonic Adventure 2 and the audio. Everything else pretty good. This is, it's alright. I want to talk about the music real quick. All the songs are great. There's not a bad song in this game. All the songs are bangers. This is absolutely one of the best Sonic soundtracks. This is stupid good. City Escape, best, banger. Green Jungle, song stuck in my head all the time. White Jungle, all the time stuck in my head. Radical Highway, stuck in my head constantly. Crazy Gadget, as much as I don't like that level, the song, great. Metal Harbor, For the Knuckles levels, for some reason, they decided that all of his levels should be rap music. And whoever did that, thank you, Christ, because we got Pumpkin Hill.
I ain't gonna let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet.
Bet you didn't know this was a Halloween video. Surprise! Boo! Pumpkin Hill is Knuckles' best fucking level in the goddamn game. Knuckles levels are pretty decent. My only two that I don't like at all, or very barely, is his one in space, and the aquatic mine level is sometimes a confusing mess. Sometimes it just depends the RNG where the emeralds get put. But Pumpkin Hill, man, absolutely his best level. It has the perfect balance of horizontal space and vertical space for you to just explore and go nuts in. Adore Pumpkin Hill, and the song, you're hearing it right now, a banger.
Hell, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I sense it in.
Kill me. As for the music in the Tails levels, I don't fucking know. I can't hear them. The game's too fucking loud. I have no idea what the Tails songs sound like, and I'm not gonna search them up. You know what's funny? The song that's playing right now, I'm gonna say it's the fucking. What Tails level do we want? The one where he's going through the city? Sure. The one where he's going through the city. That's the song that's playing now. This will legit be the first time I've heard the fucking song. Because I can't hear it during the game. It's too loud. But I'm sure it's great. Also, everyone got updated theme songs, and I have no fucking clue when they play in the game at all. They don't play during the credits anymore. I hear snippets and motifs of them during the game, but I never hear the full song. So everyone got new and improved and updated versions of their theme song. So Sonic's It Doesn't Matter from Adventure 1 got a remake of It Doesn't Matter for Adventure 2. And it's either on par or I like it just a little bit more than Adventure 1's. Knuckles got a new rendition of his theme song, and I very much love this one as much as the first one. And Tails' I don't know. Again, I don't think it ever plays in the fucking game. You're gonna hear it right. You're hearing it right now. And this is the first time I'm hearing it too. Wow. Anyway, but that's about it for the hero story. The story, for the gameplay wise, the way that this story works is because you can choose hero and dark. The stories intertwine every now and again. Chronologically, it starts with dark, but we're just going to talk about hero and talk about the intersecting points, and we'll touch on them with the dark story, but we're going to go beeline through hero. Ready? Again, a lot of fluff, especially in Knuckles. The aspect of Knuckles' story is really fluffed out. He doesn't get to be a character in the story majorly until like halfway through the hero story. So we'll get to a point where all of a sudden we'll be like, oh yeah, Knuckles is here now. So here we go. The hero story starts off with Sonic being arrested and taking out all the military personnel on the helicopter he's riding, which is sick. Also, yeah, that's Comic Sans subtitles. Don't worry about it. And then escaping and wondering why the fuck he's been taken, whatever. Then there's immediately a boss fight with Bigfoot, not that Bigfoot, but this Bigfoot. It's a fairly easy fight. But then after that, we are introduced to Shadow the Hedgehog, the best fucking character. Fuck you, Sega. I'll elaborate more on why that fuck you, Sega. But right now, Shadow, best character. We're introduced to Shadow. Sonic then realizes that the military and police have mistaked Shadow for him, which is why they wanted to arrest Sonic, even though Shadow is quills go the other direction than Sonic's, and also he's a completely different fucking color. In fact, he's the lack of color, but it's fine. Shadow then uses Chaos Control to zip past Sonic in one of the most iconic images from this game. And Sonic then, that's Sonic's first introduction to seeing Chaos Control. After that cutscene, we're introduced to Knuckles, who is hanging out in the Grand Canyon, I fucking guess, and Rouge is there and wants the Master Emerald because all the world gems are hers. Also, Rouge is a new character. She's just a bat with titties and a treasure hunter. And also a government agent, but we'll get into that. She wants the Emerald. Knuckles says no, Eggman shows up and takes it anyway, then Knuckles breaks it, and I think we're missing a few frames of animation here, because it just kind of fucking explodes. Got him. Yeah, there's like a frame missing there. I don't really know what happened there, but I'm assuming Knuckles punched it, but there's no impact animation or anything. It's just, I don't know. So Knuckles breaks the Master Emerald because in his head, he's like, hey, fuck it, I've searched for them before, I'll do it again. Then this way, Eggman won't have them, I guess. Logical explanation. So he has like 3 fucking levels where he is just not important to the story at all. I'm just gonna skip until he shows up later. So that's Knuckles' introduction. Then Tails is introduced by flying the Tornado 3. The fixed up first tornado? I think it's the 3 because it turns into an ATST. I don't know. But he's flying the Tornado and he says, he mentions he's headed to Prison Island to rescue Sonic. And he also throws in there that he doesn't know why Sonic would do the things that he did, such as rob a bank. Which means his Shadow just got bored and also robbed the bank at some point, which is fucking hilarious. So Tails is flying to Prison Island to rescue Sonic when he sees Amy is also on the island for some reason, and Eggman is approaching her, and it looks like he's gonna fucking kill her or maybe throw her off the edge. I don't really know what his plan is, but Tails is like, hot damn, I gotta hop in action, and he morphs his robot into the ATST, and you have a really fucking easy boss fight with Eggman. Like, god damn, this is fucking, it's over in 20 seconds, if that. Got him. Threat neutralized. After that, we have a Tails level. I can't hear anything, so the ringing doesn't stop. And then you rescue Sonic. The only real thing of note here is there's a bunch of writing on the wall in Sonic's cell, and Amy asks if Sonic wrote it, to which he doesn't reply. Nobody says anything about it. That's the only mention of the writing, is Amy asking if Sonic wrote it, and then after that it's never brought. So I don't fucking know who wrote it. So jumping ahead after that, Sonic escapes Prison Island. We learn it's connected to a forest. We fight Shadow, or Sonic then overhears a radio broadcast to Shadow for Mega Man that says the island's going to blow up, to which Sonic says, blows up, which is the best. And then we play through Green Jungle. Skipping some time after that, Eggman makes a broadcast to the entire world where we see this horrifying little girl. What the Jesus Christ? He says you have 24 hours to bow down to the Eggman Empire, or I'm going to blow up the Earth. And he demonstrates this by blowing up half of the moon, which has no lasting effects on the Earth. It's totally fine. You can just do that. I don't know if you know that. You can just blow up the moon. Piccolo did it. There's no ramifications to the planet. You can just do that. So he does it, and then he leaves. So then, Sonic and Tails chase the President of the United States down so that they can try to tap into the conversation that him and Eggman are having to see where Eggman is at, because Tails can't trace the power of the Chaos Emeralds on Earth anymore, which then immediately makes him go, oh, Eggman's in space. So he needs to trace the phone call that Eggman made to the President back to where Eggman is, to which, hallelujah, he's on space. So now they're like, damn, we gotta get to space. Obviously, let's go to Egypt. There's rockets in the pyramid. So we go to... So we're down to like 22 hours. They somehow get to Egypt with 21 hours to go. So then we play through a couple pyramid-themed levels, all of which are fine, and then we take a rocket into space. And now we're in space. And the best cutscene in the world plays out right now.
What the? Is everyone alright? We should be landing soon.
The hatch doors are open.
Don't sweat it, Knuckles. The only thing in the cargo bay are those
What do you
Master
mean,
Emeralds.
don't sweat it?
Right?
Land the
Knock
shuttle
it
and
off,
let me
Knuckles.
out.
We're gonna crash this thing if you keep that up. Oh no! Don't touch that lever! Whoa!
After this, Sonic and Tails board the Ark, and Knuckles leaves the plot again. Also, Knuckles showed up, I forgot to mention. So Knuckles was also there on the rocket ship, but he's left the plot again because they let the Emeralds get out of the ship. So now he has his level, Tails has his level, and then Sonic has Crazy Gadget. After Sonic gets into the main cockpit of the Ark, or whatever, Sonic holds up this yellow emerald, which was established earlier that Tails made a fake emerald with the same power properties of a Chaos Emerald, but just not as strong. You got that? I don't know when he did it either. He just did it. So that's the last emerald that Eggman needs. And by the way, the Eclipse Cannon, which he used to blow up the moon, needs all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds to blow up the Earth real good. And that's why he needs all of the emeralds for. So this yellow fella is the last emerald Eggman needs. So Eggman's like, hand me the emerald and I'll give you Amy. And Sonic's like, no way, nerd, give me the fucking chicken, I'll give you the thing. So then there's a standoff. Sonic eventually is like, you know what, I'll lay the emerald down here, you give me Amy, we're good to go. Eggman tells him to walk over here. He walks into the spot. A thing closes on him. Eggman says, do you really think you can fool me with this fake emerald? Tails immediately cracks and asks, how'd you know that? To which Eggman replies, you just told me. He then sends Sonic into space to his death. Sonic fucking explodes, and he's dead now. And Tails, to further his character development from Adventure 1, one of my favorite moments from this game, Tails immediately realizes that he fucked up and the death of Sonic is on his hands, and he does whatever he can to fix it, which then immediately sends us into our boss fight with Eggman, where Tails tries to set everything right. After the boss fight, Eggman's just sprawled out on the floor, fucking dead, and everything's fine. And then Sonic appears for a boss fight against Shadow, running down a road in the Ark. It's a very iconic fight. But hey, Trent, didn't you say Sonic fucking died? I did, but he didn't. So remember when I said that emerald has the same? Remember when I love this game. Remember when I said the emerald has the same power properties as a normal Chaos Emerald, but it's not as powerful? So yes, because it has the same power, Sonic used Chaos Control to warp himself back onto the Ark before the pod he was in exploded. And you also might be asking, hey, you're kind of doing a run through the story. I'm sure there was a whole like training segment or something where he figured out Chaos Control. No, he saw Shadow do it that one time and then was like, damn, I think if I just hold it up and say it, I can do it. And he did it. So good for him. After this boss fight, we then see Eggman try to do the Eclipse Cannon because he's got like, I don't know, 30 seconds or some shit left. And the cannon explodes, to which we get a zoom in shot of Sonic giving a thumbs up. And that's the end of the hero mode. And it's this story, man, it's nuts. While there's a bunch of shit to make fun of and pick at, I very much appreciate that it is trying no holds barred, not even trying to crack jokes, just try to play and tell a very serious world-ending story with stakes, while also taking itself so seriously that it is absurd, and I love it. I feel like with new Sonic games, that's what's missing, because what you'll get is games where Sonic is a quirky, wisecracking, fourth-wall-breaking character, Tails doesn't do anything, Knuckles is stupid, Amy is girl, and these are the things you will see in new Sonic games, and this is what's missing, is in new Sonic games, Sonic will straight up stop the flow of a cutscene and just basically wink to the audience and basically tell the audience, like, yeah, we know this plan's stupid, but ain't that funny? And it's like, no, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut your stupid fucking shut the fuck up. I feel like that's what's missing, is the fact that this game takes itself so seriously and that's what makes it funny. As a kid, holy shit, this is the most intense shit in the world. As an adult, dog, this shit's funny. But with that out of the way, that's the end of the hero story, so we're gonna jump right into Dark Story, and it's gonna take a lot less build-up because you play as Shadow, newcomer Rouge, and Eggman for the first time in any Sonic game. You get to play as Eggman. How do they play? Shadow is just a carbon copy of Sonic, Rouge is a carbon copy of Knuckles, and Eggman is a carbon copy of Tails. So we don't have 6 different gameplay styles now. We have 3 copy and pasted, but I think for this game's theming, it works out very well. I mean, look at any promotional picture for this, and it's constantly the sides mirroring each other. Composition of all of these advertisements and posters is just fucking peak 2001. So the Dark Story. The Dark Story opens up with Eggman. You play as Eggman first, and he's raiding a military base to find the ultimate life form. At the end of that, he finds the ultimate life form, and it turns out to be Shadow, which he tells Eggman that he'll grant him a wish, which never comes up again. Shadow's not a genie, and I don't really understand what the... Oh, Shadow also fights a B3 hotshot. It's just Bigfoot from Sonic's story. So after this, we're then introduced to the same cutscene that we got earlier with Knuckles and Rouge from the hero story, except this time we now play as Rouge. It plays out the exact same, but now we're playing as Rouge, collecting 3 Master Emerald shards. And it's fine. And that's the end of that. Then you play Sand Ocean as Eggman, where he's going through his base while Gun, the military, is patrolling him. You kill all the military personnel. So then we see Shadow standing on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, is what it looks like, but it's not. We're not in San Francisco. We're not. Shut the fuck up. He has a very quick flashback about himself and Maria Robotnik, Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter. Who's Gerald Robotnik and who is Maria? Hold your fucking horses, we'll get there. Calm the fuck down, son of a bitch. The main point of this is Shadow believes Maria asked for Shadow to take revenge on the humans because they killed her. The military put a cap in a child, and Shadow's her last plea to Shadow was to get revenge on the humans. So that's what Shadow is going to do. After this, we should play through Shadow's Radical Highway level, the first Shadow level. Fucking banger, love this level. After this, he runs into Sonic at the end of Sonic's Bigfoot fight, and that cutscene plays out like normal. Back at the desert, Rouge, we learn that she's a secret government agent, and she's supposed to go undercover and work with Eggman. So we play through Rouge in Eggman's base, collecting keys to open up said base. At the end of Rouge's level, I'm referencing notes here because a lot of shit. The hero story, as you'll see, not a whole lot happens. The dark story is where a lot of shit goes down. So I'm just like trying to reference and make sure that I got shit right. Ready? All right, here we go. Check his notes. Here we go. At the end of Rouge's level in Eggman's base called Egg Quarters, Rouge finds a teleporter to the Space Colony Ark and wonders what it's doing down there. To which we then cut to Eggman, who has already used said teleporter and is on the Ark looking through research papers that his grandfather, Gerald, left up there. As he's up there, he finds the main control room where Shadow is also just there. He's just waiting, don't worry about it. Shadow explains some lore about the Ark, and that it was built by Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather. And people know that it's up there, but it's defunct. Nobody does anything with it, except what people don't know is that it was used to develop a bunch of lethal weapons, including f***ing Shadow. Shadow then reveals to Eggman the Eclipse Cannon, which is a gigantic laser built on the side of it that Eggman used to blow up half of the moon in the hero story. The cannon's been shut off because it ran out of energy and needs all 7 Chaos Emeralds to recharge it to blow up the Earth. Shadow plugs the emerald he took into the bank into the console, then he makes Eggman a deal. If Eggman helps Shadow to reactivate the cannon, the Doctor can keep it and use it however he likes. Rouge then drops down from the ceiling, she also is in space now, saying it won't be that easy. Remembering that she uses a tracking system to help find the Master Emerald Shard, she offers to help find the Chaos Emeralds. Again, remember she's supposed to be a government agent working undercover with Eggman to see what he's doing. Now she's actively helping him try to destroy the world. Just remember that. She can help him track down the emeralds. Rouge also has a Chaos Emerald. She had the blue Chaos Emerald. She gives that to Eggman. So now there's at least 2 on the thing. After this, we then go to Prison Island with Eggman, play through Weapons Bed, and then this cutscene plays out like it did where Tails rescues Amy. We have a boss fight against Tails. Except for this one, Eggman wins. Because of course he does. Then we get Security Hall with Rouge. I need to rant about Security Hall with Rouge. Security Hall is an emerald hunting level. About the same as the Master Emerald Shard levels, except this time you're hunting full Chaos Emeralds. Problem is, Prison Island itself is going to explode. We know this from the hero story, and we know this because Eggman said so. Eggman is willing to give Rouge a 15-minute time limit to go find these emeralds. To which Rouge says in a cutscene, she doesn't need 15 minutes. She's good with 5. So then you must play a emerald hunting level with a 5-minute time limit or you lose and have to start over. And let me explain how you get the best score possible on these levels. See, there's computers that are little hint systems that will give you riddles as to where the emerald shards or emeralds might be hidden. Using those, however, greatly diminishes your score, and why your scores matter, we'll get into that. But those greatly diminish your score, and you can only use 3 of them. After using 3 of them, you can't use them anymore, you can't get any more hints. If you find the emerald shards or emeralds without using those, you get the max score possible. No matter how long it took you to find it, you get the maximum score. Each hint you use lowers that score little by little until it's going to be worth pennies, essentially. So if you are trying to get the best score possible, you need to, 1, find all the emeralds without using the hints, and 2, do it under 5 minutes. It's one of the most stressful and annoying levels in the entire game. I love this game. I'm not above criticizing it when I absolutely need to. Oh my god, I have to do it all over again? No, it's right there. Fuck, come on. Move around there. Got it. Rouge has a boss fight. Unfortunately, this boss fight traps her inside Security Hall, where she is ready to just accept fate that she lost and is going to die in this explosion. Shadow, however, plays through White Jungle, and this whole story reason as to why he's running into the forest as opposed to out of it like Sonic was, is because, according to him, he just wants to save the emeralds that Rouge has, and he couldn't care less about her. So he's running back into Security Hall to save Rouge, but really save the emerald. Or is it the other way around? We'll never know! After this, we have the boss fight with Sonic in the forest, and then Tails and Sonic go find the president by chasing him on a highway. We went through this, but now Rouge is chasing Tails, who is chasing the president, to stop Tails, because they made the announcement now. So now we're at the point where Eggman made the announcement, Tails is chasing the president, now Rouge is chasing Tails, chasing the president. Holy shit. We then get the next Shadow level, Skyrail. It is in a canyon area where Shadow is told that, hey, Tails' airplane was seen around this area. Find it. So you're basically racing down and around this mountain to catch up to Tails' airplane. After this, we get the Egg Golem boss fight from Eggman. He was down here waiting for Sonic and friends to get to the... Alright, ready for this bullshit. So instead of warping back to the Ark like they could have this whole time, Rouge and Shadow did. Eggman decided, hey, I'm gonna stay in the pyramid and surprise Freddy Fazbear jump scare Sonic and friends with the Egg Golem, which is a boss fight that you fight with Sonic. After Sonic fights that, the Egg Golem malfunctions and goes after Eggman, so now you fight that as Eggman and then go back up to the Ark. Fuck it. Next up is Mad Space, and if I can rant about another fucking Rouge level, this is the worst level in the entire game. I despise Mad Space. Mad Space is too fucking big, and that's about it. It's too fucking big, it's too fucking boring. It's another space level like Knuckles is, but like Knuckles is Knuckles. Like Knuckles is Knuckles, it's Knuckles! Like Knuckles space level. But the problem is, it is so vertical, gigantic, that it's so boring and so long. Here's a clip of me streaming it and actually falling asleep to the point where I had to stand up so that I could finish the level. Because, oh my god, I was passing out. I fell off, and then that's just where you're gonna be. What the hold on. Once again, falling asleep while playing this because it's all fucking boring. And I just had a conversation in my head while I was passing out and continued that out in the real world. I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about saying if you fell off. I don't know what that was for. I don't know why I said that. Twitter, this is my apology. Don't cancel me for saying fell off. After this, we get a boss fight against Knuckles, which I forgot to mention in the hero story. Knuckles fights Rouge, whatever. We get a boss fight against Knuckles. After that, we get Cosmic Wall. It's Eggman. So at this point, they need one more Chaos Emerald. Eggman has teleported himself back to the Ark, but is getting a reading from 2 Chaos Emeralds instead of just the 1. So he knows that they're planning something, and he's trying to get to them before they get to him. So now you play as Eggman going through Cosmic Wall to catch up to Sonic and Tails. Fun fact about Cosmic Wall: the score requirement to get the best rank possible was too low on the Dreamcast version, so they had to up it for the battle version, for the GameCube and onwards version. I just think it's a neat little thing. Anyway, after that we get Final Chase of Shadow. Shadow's last level. It's fine. I know a lot of people don't like this level because of the weird anti-gravity cylinders. I don't mind it. I think this one's okay. At this point in the story, so Eggman now has sent Sonic into space, blown him up. They all think he's dead. Shadow now realizes there's somebody trying to f*** the Eclipse Cannon, so he's like, shit, can't have that happen. So you play through Final Chase as Shadow to try to get down to the Eclipse Cannon to see what's going on, to which, of course, we find out, and we know, it's Sonic. And we fight Sonic, and we win, and then that's the end of the Dark story. Yeah. There we go. That's a hit. So now that that's over, let's get into the final story. So the last story is, all of the emeralds were put in place. The Eclipse Cannon blew up because of Sonic's interference, and shit's except things are still going in motion. The Eclipse cannon is not firing, but the arc itself is moving, and we don't know why. So Eggman frantically is looking through a computer to find out why, to which is when he pulls up a video containing Gerald Robotnik. It basically looks like an interrogation video, to which Gerald explains that he is sick of the humans, basically going full-on emo depresso bullshit mode. Maria had an incurable disease. Maria is Gerald's granddaughter, and Maria had an incurable disease, so she was up with him on the Ark, spending time with him, to which Gerald developed Shadow, and Shadow and Maria basically were like childhood friends. So Gunn invaded the Ark believing that Gerald Robotnik's research would be a threat to the planet. So they organized a plan to shut down the Ark and destroy Project Shadow. So they made up a cover-up story that they would invade the Ark under the ploy that there was an accident and just get rid of anybody involved with Project Shadow, which unfortunately meant gunning down a child, Maria, right in front of Shadow. Right before that happened, though, Maria put Shadow in his escape pod and sent him to Earth, which is where Shadow believes Maria's last words were, "Take revenge on the humans." And then she is killed in front of Shadow before he's launched to Earth, which is why Eggman finds him on Prison Island, or in wherever the fuck he was. I don't remember anymore. Fuck this shit. So Gerald Robotnik in this video explains that once all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds were put into the cannon, the system overrode itself, and in 27 minutes, the Space Colony Ark is going to collide with Earth, destroying everything. This is his revenge for killing Maria 50 years ago. The gang then talks about what they got to try to do to fix it, and we get our first instance that I can think of in a mainline Sonic game where Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman, and Rouge, but mostly and Eggman, all work together to try and fix this and do what they should have done in Adventure 1, which is we have one final level with all of the characters working together for one goal. It's one of my favorite levels. It's the longest level in the game, unless you get fucking lost in mad space, in which case, good fucking luck, you're going to be there for 30 minutes. But it's the longest level in the game. First you play as Tails, then Eggman, then Rouge, then Knuckles, and then finally Sonic. This is, like I said, the longest level in the game, but you're constantly switching characters, all working towards one goal, and it's to get to the engine room to disable everything, try to shut everything down, get to the core of the Ark and shut it down. Shadow, as you see, is not participating in this because, as far as he's concerned, he's done it. His purpose was to take revenge on the humans for Maria, and if the Ark's gonna crash into the Earth and wipe everybody out, then he's done it. He's good. He's lived out his promise. He's done. He's found his purpose. He doesn't need to do anything anymore. As that level plays out, Amy talks to Shadow 19 minutes before impact is going to happen. She begs him to help. Shadow, of course, refuses, as he has no reason. The humans are going away. They're gonna die. They're gonna explode in a fiery explosion, which is what Maria wanted. Amy then talks to Shadow, begs him. While some people are selfish, a lot of them have good hearts, and they don't deserve to die. This triggers a memory within Shadow that he has repressed for 50 years, where he realizes that Maria never wanted revenge. Shadow was created to give humanity a chance to be happy. Gerald simply manipulated his memory before he died to trick him into thinking Maria's promise was to destroy the humans. Shadow, now realizing he has a new purpose, hops into action, to which we then get a boss fight against the Bio-Lizard. What the fuck is the Bio-Lizard, you're asking? Well, at the end of the final level with all of the characters, we then see a replica of the shrine from Sonic Adventure 1 inside of the Ark, which is strange. We then see the Bio-Lizard is also there, and that was the prototype ultimate life form. Now you might be asking, hey, where'd you go? Shadow's the ultimate life form. How the f wrote Gerald go from a big lizard to a tiny hedgehog? And I'm going to explain this in the best headcanon way that I could explain it. You see, in Sonic Adventure 1, the murals of Chaos and Sonic's fight were there. Neither one was explained who the ultimate life form was, so I'm going to assume that because we have a replica of the Ark from Adventure 1 in the Space Colony Ark, that Gerald at some point was in the Mystic Ruins, saw all of the shit, saw all the tapestry and the murals, didn't know which one was the ultimate life form, made the Bio-Lizard in resemblance of a perfect Chaos's form. Realizing that wasn't the right perfect life form, he locked it away, sealed it away, realizing that the hedgehog-looking fella on the mural was the ultimate life form, which of course was Supersonic from Adventure 1. In this case, he made Shadow. This is why Shadow's quills look like Supersonic's quills in a silhouette. It's because he was trying to replicate Supersonic. This is my explanation for it. because other than that, yeah, there's no real reason he should have made a big lizard as a prototype for Shadow. So Shadow fights the Bio Lizard. I don't like this fight. It's fine when it works, but sometimes it just doesn't work sometimes, and I don't know why. Also, the water just immediately kills you. It just sends you into space. I don't know what the. So while Shadow's fighting the Bio Lizard, sorry, something to mention. While Shadow's fighting the Bio Lizard, the others run to the control room to grab the emeralds. They take the emeralds off the cannon. Shadow defeats the Bio Lizard. Everything's good, right? The Bio Lizard teleports out of there by using Chaos Control. And fuses with the Ark to become the final hazard. The creature was also manipulated into serving Gerald to keep the Ark on its collision course. So now the Ark is shut down, no longer mechanically on its collision course, but by the sheer willpower of a giant lizard fused into metal. It's still making its downward path into Earth. Yes, Sonic and Shadow, realizing they don't have any other option, use the Chaos Emeralds to become Super Sonic and Super Shadow, marking the first time we have seen Super Shadow happen. We have seen Super Tails and Super Knuckles happen in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but this is the first time in a 3D Sonic game that we've seen another character other than Sonic go Super, which is great. We then are launched into a boss fight against Final Hazard in space, where we fly around, dodge bullets, dodge lasers, dodge little bubble things. And it's a great boss fight. Live and Learn by Crush 40's blasting in the background. By the way, forgot to tell you, Crush 40, they came back. Don't worry, boys, they're back in business for this one with Live and Learn, probably their most successful and most popular song. In fact, I'm going to go to their Spotify real quick, and I want to see what their most popular song on Spotify is real quick. Oh, no shit. All right, there you go. It's I Am All of Me, apparently. And let me try to get it where there's no glare. It's apparently I Am All of Me, then Live and Learn. So, you know. You win some, you lose some. I have lost money. What else is new? Join the Patreon, boys. Anyway, after the fight is over, Sonic and Shadow combine their forces to use Chaos Control together to warp the Ark back into orbit before it hits Earth. However, after this fight, Shadow has run out of energy. He can no longer use his super form anymore, to which he's okay with this, because he's fulfilled his promise to Maria. The new promise, which was to save humanity. He turns back to normal before falling to Earth, telling himself this is what Maria wanted. He did it. He's done. He's good. Shadow then plummets to Earth, sacrificing himself, saving the world, and saving the people that he spent all game trying to kill, in a sacrifice that will have lasting ramifications on this franchise and never be retconned or rewritten or redone ever again. He will stay dead from this moment on. Forever and ever and ever. Never to be rewritten as a shell of his former self. Never to be made fun of as just a joke, edgy character. Always remembered as the interesting and fun, just little dark, ambivalent character he always was in Sonic Adventure 2 and no other game. So spoiler, he's back in Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic fucking Forces. Yeah, he didn't stay dead. Remember when I said it was cool that Gamma stayed dead? Shadow doesn't stay dead. Spoiler for that. Shadow doesn't stay dead, which is fair. Shadow's a great character. I understand why they brought him back. I just wish when they brought him back they didn't fucking ruin his character in the process. But it's okay. We're still a couple games away from that. He's still a good character when he comes back. Don't worry, boys. He's still good. For one game, and then he's kind of shit again, and then he's great again, and then he's bad for the rest of the time. Humanity celebrates that they get to live, and Sonic returns to the Ark. Rouge immediately asks about Shadow. Sonic just shakes his head, doesn't say a word, and everyone knows what that means. He assures everyone, though, that Shadow did not die. Nothing. He was a hero till the very end, and will be remembered as such. We then get a cute little epilogue scene where Eggman talks to Tails, and honestly, genuinely, I adore this scene. You can't fucking hear it because the audio mixing is shit.
As a child, I looked up to my grandfather because of all the great things he accomplished in Sonic.
And I'll get into that in a second right after I'm done with this. But you can't hear it, but it's really cute, and I like it. Eggman then talks to Tails and basically says that ever since he was a child, Gerald Robotnik was somebody he looked up to as an amazing, smart, intelligent scientist, somebody he wishes that he could be, and just knows that he can't because he just lacks the smarts and skills to do so, which is why he's kind of turned to a life of evil. Tails basically reassures to Eggman that, Gerald was his own person, and it's okay that Eggman's not like him, because Gerald was too smart for this world and ended up doing himself in, trying to take revenge on the humans anyway. To which it seems like Eggman's going to have kind of a change of heart. Spoiler, he doesn't, but for this story, it seems like he'll have a change of heart. Knuckles and Rouge talk to each other, and Knuckles basically asks Rouge what she's going to do next, and she basically just says she's not sure. She's not interested in jewel hunting anymore, and she wants to go on a new career path. Sonic, standing by his lonesome, thinks about Shadow when Amy asks him what's on his mind. Sonic assures her that it's nothing, and everyone leaves the Ark, returning to Earth. Sonic takes one last look back behind him at the Ark, says the lines,
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
remembering Shadow's heroic sacrifice. Now, at the end of all of this, the last couple things I want to say is I love this game's story a lot. It's goofy, and it saves a lot of its heavier, important plot stuff till the very end. I'm not a big fan of that. I kind of would have rather it been sprinkled throughout the stories, but getting the big exposition, the big 3.5 hour exposition dump, kind of is a slog, but it does help to really bump up the stakes, and it makes Shadow's ending feel much more earned than I feel like it would have been otherwise. The other thing I want to mention, these are just going to be like some nitpick stuff to get out of the way. Like I said previously, the audio mixing is terrible. Other than that, I think my only real gripe is the Rouge working for the government is never touched on again. She worked for the government and is almost actually probably solely responsible for Eggman getting the emeralds as quick as he did. And she's just not reprimanded for that, which, sure. But apart from that, this is my favorite 3D Sonic game. And yes, it has some pretty low lows with Mad Space, Security Hall, but those are two out of the rest of the game. It's a great, I love this game. Honestly, my biggest complaint is Shadow only has 4 levels. I wish Shadow had more levels. He only has 4, and that's a crime, because his gameplay is great. But yeah, I think that's it for Sonic Adventure 2. I can't really think of anything else that I'm missing. Thinking here. Yeah, I really can't think of anything that I'm missing. Oh yeah! Fucking CHAOs! Alright, boys, I skipped it. I skipped it in Adventure because nobody gives a shit, but this is the one. This is the one where it matters. The CHAO Garden. So throughout the levels, there are these boxes that are blue with CHAO faces on them. If you break them, you get a key. At the end of the level, you go to this garden where you can raise CHAOs. What are CHAOs? Watch Sonic Adventure 1. They're basically these little blue things, and they're cute, and everybody loves them. And you get to raise them to then compete in fighting events or races or go to school and name them and do whatever. But how do you up their stats? Well, by replaying levels over and over and over and over and over and over again. You collect animals and tube things that increase their stats, and what you do is you take that shit to the CHAO Garden, give it to the CHAOs, they inherit that animal's abilities or whatever. Like if it's a bat, it'll grow wings and then it can fly better, or if it's a seal, it can swim better, or if it's a bird, it can fly, and cheetah, it'll run. You give it that shit, or color-coded tubes, which will increase a specific stat that you want of your choice. You replay levels over and over again. You get an animal for killing every enemy. You can get a fucking tube from breaking boxes and shit. They're in every single level. They are there. This increases the replay value immensely for the people who are interested in it. I never was interested in the CHAO Garden stuff, but I recorded a lot of it for this video. Enough to suffice for this and to get my fill of it and experience it. And you know what? I can understand. I think apart from... I think I am the odd case out where I like the game for the game. I feel like most people's nostalgia and memory for this game is because they remember grinding and playing through levels over and over and over again to get the best animals and materials to give to their CHAOs, to raise their CHAOs and whatever. Because there's a reason nobody talks about the Tails levels as being good levels, because they're not. They're kind of just shut your fucking brain off and hold a button and shoot. No, nobody was replaying the Tails and Knuckles levels for CHAO shit. They were replaying the Sonic, the Shadow levels. They were replaying those, and that's why everybody has nostalgia for this game. I have nostalgia for it and love it for the game itself, but the reason I think people love it so much in general is because of the CHAO Garden. The CHAO Garden was a fantastic addition. A great mini game on top of this already great game, and I understand completely people's love for it. Okay, I think I got the CHAO Garden stuff out of the way. I'm sure there's some stuff I missed about it, but that's your basic base level. It goes deep. There are charts to calculate how to raise perfect chows. It goes nuts. CHAO Garden shit is serious business. This is the end of the Sonic Adventure 2 retrospective kind of video thing. Next time, I will do Heroes and Shadow, probably both in the same video, because I don't have a whole lot to say about them, to be completely honest, right up front. I kind of want to just get to 06, because 06 I got a lot to say about. But, gotta do Heroes and Shadow first. But until then, I thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, holy shit, dog, what the f*** are you doing? But also, thank you. If you liked the content, leave a like, subscribe. I have a Patreon where I'm going to do things with it eventually. Thank you to my one supporter whose name you see here. Thank you so much for your $5 a month. Every dollar put in the Patreon gets put immediately into my savings, and I use that to save up to buy improvements to the set, like a new camera or a new mic if I need it, you know, whatever, just stuff like that. Or if I would need to get new computer parts to make recording or something easier, that all that money would get used to save up to that. But I think with that out of the way, go follow my Twitter, my socials, everything's in the description. If you want to watch the first video I did, which was much more scripted, much more in-depth than this one, you can go ahead and watch that. Let me know which one you like more. Do you like the more scripted one, or do you like this one more? I think I'm more partial to doing it more impromptu, off the cuff, but if you more want the scripted stuff, I can do that. That's fine. It's just going to take more time. But either way, let me know what you think. Love you all. Thank you. Leave a like, comment, sub, all that good shit. Patreon down in the description, and there will be a Discord server very soon where I have some people working on that, including myself and them. We're all just so busy. I'm a dad. I don't know what you want from me. We're just very busy. This isn't my full-time gig, so I try to squeeze in this and Discord management when I can. But follow my socials to keep up with me. Twitter's my main one. I have a Letterboxd if you want to see what the f*** I've watched for some reason. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. So until next time, remember, Fox News is not real news, and I'll see you next time for next month, where I'm going to stream Sonic Frontiers. I can't fucking wait. I'm so excited for Sonic Frontiers to disappoint me. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you then. Next month, hopefully Sonic Heroes, or I might take another hiatus month and do something else. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye, fucking losers.